That's me, the skint expat. Best online English available. This is connected to my blog. And, well, we'll start with my story about the first time I came into Georgia, coming from China. You know, there I am with everything I own. And I'm just wondering, you know, how much is this going to cost? You know, when's he going to give me my free visa? And will I be okay with my kitties? Yeah, I forgot to mention, I brought 2 cats with me. Brought them from China. I adopted them in China. They've been with me for 9 years. There they are. But, you know, he just stamped me. There it is. 21st of October, 2021. And the guy said, go on in. Next. And I was like, is that all? Don't I need to sign something? And the guy said, well, you can if you want, man. Or you can just go in. You know, so I did. And there's, you know, got out of the airport, found a taxi, take me to my boarding house. You know, I booked it for 2 weeks. I ended up staying for a month just to get myself settled in. You know, open up a bank account, get a Metro card, that sort of thing. You know, there I am pulling up. That's exactly what the house looked like. Well, yeah, not really. But anyway, then I set out to find an apartment, and I did very quickly. And I just, you know, as soon as I found it, I moved right in. And that's pretty much it. My arrival into Georgia was every bit that easy. You know, getting here was a different story, but you know, once I got in, it was no problem. Here good for a year, no visa, just a stamp, and I worked as a online English tutor, working out of home. Got the year, and that year went by very quickly. And then it was time to make a visa run. No visa involved, is, you know, but involved leaving the country. Had to go to a border, and so I had to leave Tbilisi. I took a taxi. I could have taken a bus. Bus would have been cheaper, but the taxi was faster, not that expensive, and I hate losing a day of work. So I took a taxi and got to the border, and there's, you know, me leaving Georgia. That's the Georgian flag. And I got to the border of, have a guess what country that is, kids. What country do you think that is? Yep, that's Armenia. One of those European flags that don't really tell you anything. So I got to the border check, and they wanted a COVID check. It didn't have to be valid. It just anything from the last year. And I was like, what? To leave the country? It took me about 15 minutes to find the thing on my phone. I found something. It just had a little green check. Showed it to them, and they said, okay. And they stamped my visa. No, they stamped my passport. And I went out to, there's, you know, left the building. And that's the Friendship Bridge, crossing a river, going from Georgia into Armenia. And I went to the Armenian immigration checkpoint. That's it right there. And went in to just get checked into Armenia, just get a stamp into Armenia. And it wasn't even that crowded. It was very, very simple, very fast. Walked around the building and got stamped out, and then went right back to the Friendship Bridge, and there it is, walking down to Georgia. You know, it's just a visa run. There was no visa involved. It's called a visa run anyway, but all I needed was a stamp. Didn't need a visa for either one of those countries. Anyway, so I got back into the office in Georgia, to get my stamp, and the woman looked at my passport and said, "You have a German surname." And I said, "Well, yeah, I guess." And then she said, "Well, passport." And I was like, "What?" She said, "I want to see your German passport." I said, that's my passport right there." And she said, "No, your German passport." I was like, why would I have a German passport? I've never been in Germany in my entire life. I'm an American. She rolled her eyes and she opened the thing to stamp, and she just said, "You just left like 10 minutes ago." It's like, well, yeah. So she stamped it, rolled her eyes again, gave it back. And as I was getting back to the car to go back to Tbilisi, it occurred to me that I don't even actually have a German surname. My surname is Ziegler. It's Z-E-I-G-L-E-R. German would be Z-I-E. I wasn't expecting the profiling, so I didn't even think to say that. But anyway, so I got back home, back to my apartment, and it was that simple. There's the page on my stamps, the entry stamps to Georgia, entry and exit in Armenia, and exit and entry into Georgia again. And that's pretty much the end of the story. At least so far.